Alright, Tracy, this is the second part of the lesson for today. Today we'll be helping you to understand question 13, 14, and 15, the last three questions of your topical worksheet better by breaking down the question into smaller parts, so you will be able to understand what you're reading and what do the data in the question lead you to, okay, in terms of the answers. Okay, so let's look at question 13 first. Okay, Mona was given okay, let's change the highlight color. Mona was given four types of materials. Okay, so I have four different materials as you can see over here with the each the same size, so they are all same size and same thickness. The only difference is that the material is different. Okay, this is the only difference, so maybe I just want to write it down. The only difference is the material. The only difference is the material. Okay, let's make it smaller. Okay, so the only difference here is the material. Okay, so she kept adding 2 kg blocks on each of the material. So you have a diagram here that shows you how she did her experiment. I have a support. I put my material over here. I put 2 kg block one after another. So 2 kg, another 2 kg, another 2 kg, another 2 kg until they broke. Okay, until they broke. So this is quite similar to question 11 when we have the marbles question. Okay, so she recorded the number of 2 kg blocks that is added until it breaks. So once again, I'm not gonna of course do for you yet. I want you to try, but I want you to think about what do all these numbers mean. Okay, use a different color. I want you to think of what do all these number mean, what do all these number tell you. Okay, I'm gonna write it down. What does all these numbers tell you about the material? Okay, maybe I should write it over here. Yeah, I think here. Right. Okay, so what do all these numbers tell you about the material? And on top of that, looking at the experiment, how the experiment is being done, what do you think this experiment is about? What property is this experiment testing on? What property is this experiment testing on? Okay, so before you start the question, always understand what property is the experiment about, and also um, what do the numbers really mean. So looking at this, is it about flexibility? Is it about strength? Is it about waterproof? Is it about able to float or sink? Is it able to allow light to pass through? What is the property that you are testing on? That's the most important. And then look at the numbers. What do the numbers tell you about the materials? With that understanding, you will have an easier time answering the rest of the questions. Okay, so let's look at question 14. Okay, question 14. Haley dropped two objects made of different materials into a basin of water. So once again, what is this experiment testing? What property is this experiment testing on? So always understand what property are you trying to find out. Okay. Okay. So I dropped two objects into a basin of water. One sinks, one floats. So knowing that this is the experimental setup, what property am I testing on? That's the most important thing. Okay, and then tell me, so knowing this diagram over here, tell me also what can, from the results that you see. Okay, because this is actually the result already. This is actually the result after you put it into a basin of water. So from the results, what can you say about P and Q? So knowing that this is the result, what can you say about P and Q? What's the property of P? What's the property of Q? Okay, so once you understood this, it's easier to do these two questions. Okay, and then after that, you are supposed to link what you know on top to this application. That is a kickboard. You use it in the swimming pool to learn how to swim. You think about it. So what is the most important property of a kickboard? Think about it. If I use it to learn how to swim, what is the most important property it must have? Okay, so once again, this is the keyword over here, or actually the key clue is to help people to learn how to swim. If that is the case, what is the most important property you must have, and how it links to the top part as well. Okay, so once you understand this, the bottom will be quite easy. Let's go to the last question. Just hold on for a while. Okay, so last question. Gomez had tied a hammock to the tree. So hammock is like a piece of material that hangs between two trees, and then you can rest on it and sleep on it. Okay, so he tied and he tied and he rested on it. This is a hammock. So once again, think about it. What is the important property a hammock must have in order to do what the man is doing? What is the important property of a hammock? So always link back to the property of the material, the function of the object. Okay, one hint is that, hey, I have a grown-up man that is on the hammock. What property must the hammock have? If not, you will get spoiled, right? So what is the important property that a hammock must have? So think about it. What's the important property that the hammock must have? So I have three different materials, X, Y, and Z. Okay, hold on first. Okay, I have three important properties. I have X, Y, and Z. I have three materials here to test. Sorry, I have X, Y, and Z. So make sense of this table over here as well. Basically, know what are the properties of each material. Okay, so the most important thing here is to understand the properties of each material. Okay, you have to understand the properties of each material, basically the property of X, Y, and Z. Okay, you need to understand, like X, for example, in this case, X, for example, in this case is flexible. Y, for example, this case is flexible and waterproof, stuff like that. So you need to know the properties of each material from the table. And once you understand the properties of the material, think about which one is the most suitable for making a hammock, knowing what's the most important property of a hammock. Okay, okay, hold on first. Okay, so once again, once you know, the question here is asking you which is the most suitable for making the hammock. Know the property of each material, link it with the property of the hammock that it must have, whether is it strong, flexible, or waterproof, which one that is the most suitable, and then you answer your question below. Try to use what we have said before. What is the claim? X, Y, or Z? Okay, basically this is the claim, and then the evidence and the reasoning. Okay, so make sure you try to write it in terms of claim, evidence, and reasoning. So the part A will be the claim. Is it X, Y, or Z is the most suitable? There might not be a perfect material, but definitely there's a suitable material. And then explain using evidence and reasoning. You can write the evidence here, the reasoning here, and then reconstruct the sentence over on the lines. Okay, so with these instructions and with this guidance, I hope you can do a better job at answering open-ended question. So the homework today is question 13, 14, and 15 of your topical worksheet. See you tomorrow.